everyone! I'm so happy you're here. Today's video is filled with practical, calming, and truly life-changing organizing tips, especially if you're a woman who adores fashion and shopping, but somehow still battles a messy, overflowing closet. Tell me honestly, have you ever opened your wardrobe, stared at piles of clothes, and sighed, "I have nothing to wear"? You're not alone. I've been there too, surrounded by beautiful outfits, yet feeling strangely overwhelmed and uninspired. It's not just a space issue, it's emotional clutter, and it quietly steals our joy and energy every day. But here's the good news I've learned, that creating a tidy, peaceful closet isn't about owning less, it's about choosing with intention. Every tip I'll share today is something I've personally tried and seen transform my space from chaotic to calm, from stressful mornings to effortless ones. So, stay with me till the end, and if you enjoy these little transformations, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow for more mindful home and lifestyle inspiration every week. Let's begin with something deeply personal, the emotional side of fashion. Sometimes I stand in front of my closet, staring at rows of clothes, and whispering to myself, "Why do I still feel like I have nothing to wear?" If you've ever said the same, you're not alone. For many women who love fashion shopping isn't just about fabric or function, it's about emotion. We buy when we're inspired, when we see a new trend, or sometimes when we simply need a little boost after a tough day. Those moments feel joyful, until the closet starts overflowing and we're left feeling strangely unsatisfied. There was a time when I believed that having more clothes meant having more style. But I've learned that a full wardrobe can also reflect a cluttered mind. When we buy impulsively because an influencer wore it or because it was 50% off, we often end up owning pieces that don't truly represent who we are. They sit there quietly taking up space, both in our closets and in our thoughts. One day, I tried to understand my relationship with fashion. I asked myself, am I buying to express myself or to fill an emotional gap? That question changed everything. I realized some pieces were never meant to be worn. They were display clothes purchased to comfort a feeling rather than complement my lifestyle. Like that beautiful dress I bought just because it was on sale, it looked perfect on the hanger, but never really felt like me. Now I see fashion as a reflection of self-awareness. When we understand why we buy, we can make better choices, ones that bring both confidence and calm. A closet that truly represents you doesn't need to be full, it just needs to be honest. Sometimes letting go of what we don't wear is the first step to rediscovering what we truly love. And if you've ever wished your space could feel as calm and intentional as your favorite outfit, you won't want to miss tomorrow's video. I'll be sharing simple, life-changing ways to bring order and warmth back into your home. Trust me, you'll need this one. Once I began to understand the emotions behind my shopping habits, something else became clear. The way I chose to keep my clothes mattered just as much as why I bought them. Now that we've uncovered the emotions behind our fashion choices, let's move into something more practical, building a closet that truly speaks for you. Over the years, I realized something surprising. Too many options can actually blur our sense of style. When every hanger holds a similar piece, it becomes harder to see what truly represents you. I used to keep 10 floral dresses because I loved how feminine they looked. But when I paid attention, I noticed I only reached for 2 of them, the ones that felt the most me. That was the turning point. I began choosing representative pieces instead of keeping everything. Now, instead of a crowded closet, I have a curated space filled with items that speak clearly about who I am, not who I was trying to be. Each piece you keep should earn its place. Ask yourself, does this outfit reflect my style today? Or is it just taking up space because I feel guilty letting it go? When we choose with intention, our wardrobe becomes lighter, yet more powerful. Letting go doesn't mean losing your fashion identity. It means refining it. When you hold on to only what truly reflects your personality, getting dressed becomes joyful again. Your closet doesn't need to be full. It needs to be you. But of course, knowing what represents you is only half the journey. The real challenge begins when you face the pile deciding what to keep, what to let go of, and what still feels uncertain. Next, let's talk about one of the most eye-opening steps in this journey, the process I call keep, let go, maybe. For me, decluttering my wardrobe stopped being just about organization the moment I realized it was also a way to understand myself better. When I began trying on every single piece, yes, every one, I discovered truths I hadn't noticed before. As I slipped into each outfit, I started noting small but important details, the color that brightened my skin tone, the cut that made me stand taller, the fabric that felt soft and breathable. I even rated the comfort level from 1 to 5, almost like a playful experiment. It was eye-opening how many favorites turned out to be uncomfortable or unflattering once I really paid attention. Some pieces that looked perfect on the hanger simply didn't feel right on me anymore. So I created 3 simple piles: keep, let go, and maybe. And I did this part alone, without a friend's comment or someone else's opinion swaying my decision. It was just me, my clothes, and honest reflection. I noticed that my real style wasn't what social media trends told me it should be. It was what made me feel confident and at ease. To make the process enjoyable, I treated it like a self-care ritual. I brewed a cup of tea, played some soft jazz, and let myself enjoy the moment. It wasn't about being harsh or critical. It was about reconnecting with the woman I've become. And when I finally looked at my keep pile, I realized it wasn't just clothing. It was a mirror of my true self. And then there's the hardest part, the maybe pile. Those pieces that tug at your heart just enough to make you hesitate. I used to dread this step until I found a way to handle it with a little more kindness and patience. Now let's slow down and focus on what's often the hardest part, handling those sentimental, hard-to-let-go pieces with patience and grace. The maybe pile, oh, that tricky middle ground between I might wear it someday and I probably never will. It's the pile that makes most of us pause, unsure whether to hold on or let go. I used to rush through this part, either tossing things too quickly or keeping everything out of guilt. But over time, I learned that this category actually deserves patience and a little strategy. Now, when I'm sorting my clothes, I treat the maybe items as a temporary chapter rather than a final decision. I give them time to prove their place. Sometimes I hang them back in the closet, marking the hangers backward. If I don't touch them within 1 or 2 months, that's a quiet signal that they're not truly missed. Other times, I fold them carefully into a labeled box, seal it, and place it out of sight. When I reopen it 3 or 6 months later, I ask myself honestly, did I even remember these pieces existed? If the answer is no, I know it's time to let them go guilt-free. This gentle method taught me 2 things. First, decluttering doesn't have to be harsh. And second, our attachment to clothes often fades faster than we think. That almost perfect dress or just-in-case sweater might have served its purpose simply by helping you understand what doesn't fit your lifestyle anymore. The next time you're tempted to buy something similar to your maybe pile, pause. Chances are you already own it, and maybe deep down you already know it's not the piece you need. Once I finally narrowed down my collection, I wanted my closet to feel as calm and organized as my mindset. That's when I discovered one small technique that changed everything: the vertical folding method. With our wardrobe simplified, it's time to bring a touch of order and a little magic through one small technique, the vertical folding trick. I still remember the first time I opened my drawer. After learning the vertical folding method, it felt like opening a mini clothing library. Everything stood neatly in rows, each piece visible, colorful, and ready to wear. No more messy stacks, no more forgotten shirts buried at the bottom. It was such a small change, yet it completely transformed how I saw my space. The idea is simple but powerful. Instead of folding clothes flat and stacking them, try folding them into compact rectangles and placing them upright like books on a shelf. I usually start with t-shirts, jeans, and loungewear. It takes a few extra minutes at first, but soon it becomes second nature. The real magic happens when you open your drawer and instantly see every piece you own. You don't need to dig or unfold anything. Everything has its place and stays perfectly in shape. What I love most about this method is how peaceful it feels. There's something therapeutic about seeing your clothes lined up so neatly, as if each one finally gets to breathe. It's also a gentle reminder to appreciate what you already have instead of constantly searching for more. For me, tidying isn't just about order, it's about creating small moments of calm in daily life. And honestly, once you try this folding method, you'll never want to go back. When I opened my newly folded drawers, I felt a sense of balance I hadn't felt in years. But then I looked up and realized the hangers above told a different story. Now that our drawers are beautifully organized, let's look up quite literally and talk about harmony-matching hangers and color coordination. For years, I used to battle with mismatched hangers, some plastic, some wire, others bulky wood, all fighting for space. My clothes slipped bunched up or looked uneven, no matter how often I tried to fix it. But everything changed the moment I decided to standardize my hangers and organize by color and style. It sounds simple, but this tiny shift completely transformed my wardrobe, and honestly my mornings too. Start by choosing one type of hanger. I personally love slim velvet hangers in soft black. They grip delicate fabrics without stretching them, and the uniform look instantly brings visual harmony. When every hanger looks the same, your closet suddenly feels lighter, cleaner, and more intentional. It's as if each garment finally has its own respected space. Then comes the magic part, sorting by type and color. Hang all your shirts together, then your dresses, jackets, and so on. Within each section, arrange from light to dark, whites to creams, then pastels, deeper tones, and finally blacks. This gradient not only pleases the eye, but also helps you dress effortlessly. You can spot what you need instantly, and even see which colors you tend to wear most or neglect. This simple system may look like a style choice, but for me, it's a ritual, a small daily reminder that order brings peace. Every morning as sunlight filters through the closet doors, I feel grounded knowing everything is right where it should be. With my closet finally looking cohesive, I started to wonder, could I make it even more functional without adding more space? That question led me to one of my favorite discoveries: hidden storage spots we often overlook. Next, let's unlock one of the most overlooked secrets in home organization: discovering hidden space in your closet. For the longest time, I thought I just needed more space, more drawers, more shelves, more closets. But the truth is, I didn't need a bigger home. I needed to use the one I had more wisely. Once I started looking upward, quite literally, everything changed. I discovered the power of vertical organization and the beauty of making every inch count, especially those forgotten corners and hidden spots. Let's start with your closet shelves. Most of us only use the bottom half, letting the upper space go to waste. By adding shelf dividers or stackable boxes made of fabric or plastic, you instantly double your storage without adding clutter. I use these to store my scarves, handbags, and workout clothes items that used to float around aimlessly. Each piece now has its own defined home. It's like building little apartments for your belongings, small, tidy, and perfectly functional. Then there's what I call the bonus space, the back of doors. This is one of the most underrated spots in any home. A few simple hooks can hold bathrobes, scarves, or clothes you've worn once, but plan to wear again. It keeps your main wardrobe from overflowing while keeping things within easy reach. To me, this small system feels like an act of quiet self-care, a way of saying, I respect my space, and I want it to support me. What I love most about maximizing vertical space isn't just the practicality, it's the mindset shift. You start to realize that organization isn't about perfection, it's about intention. When everything has its place, you feel lighter, calmer, and more in control of your surroundings. And once every corner was tidy and every item had its place, there was just one last touch missing: the feeling, the warmth, the scent. And finally, let's add the finishing touch, a naturally fragrant closet that feels as peaceful as it looks. For me, creating a fresh, inviting scent in my wardrobe isn't just about cleanliness. It's about nurturing the energy of my space. Over time, I've learned that sustainable natural scent solutions don't just smell better, they make me feel better too. Instead of using fabric sprays or air fresheners that fade quickly, I now rely on simple, natural ingredients. My favorites are lavender sachets and dried orange peels mixed with cinnamon sticks. I tuck these tiny fragrance pouches into my drawers and closet corners. Each time I reach for a shirt or a scarf, a soft hint of that scent greets me, calm, soothing, and subtly elegant. Another favorite of mine is cedarwood. Those little cedar blocks or hanging cedar balls not only smell incredible, warm, woody, and grounding, but they also work wonders against humidity and insects. No more worrying about mold or moths quietly ruining your favorite coat. It's a practical kind of beauty where nature quietly takes care of what we love. There's something deeply satisfying about this ritual. It reminds me that even the smallest choices, like how we scent our closets, can bring comfort and meaning to daily life. A naturally fresh home doesn't just look tidy, it feels peaceful, balanced, and alive. Those are the habits that completely transformed my relationship with clothes, from chaos and confusion to clarity and calm. Now, every time I get dressed, I feel lighter, more confident, and never waste time wondering what to wear. My wardrobe finally feels like a reflection of me, simple, organized, and peaceful. If you've been longing to save time, decluttering, and to free your mind from that daily, "what do I wear?" stress, try these methods. They truly make a difference. And if you're ready to take this feeling beyond your wardrobe, don't miss my next video on creating a warm, well-balanced home. Trust me, it's filled with little changes that can transform your everyday life. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe because you deserve a lighter, calmer, and more breathable home every day.